So it's finally time for me to start construction on the inside of this box truck camper, and I'm excited about it. Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill with Live Simple, Live Free, and working on this truck is kind of like a Rubik's Cube. You got to move this to get to that, to move to this to get to that. So far, everything that I've done basically has been on the outside because like I had to replace the rear door, the roll door. I had to get the air conditioner in. Got to put the steps and the windows and the doors, all of that on the outside before I could even start in here. There are a couple of other things that I'm still waiting on that's kind of holding me back. Like I need to install the tanks, the gray tank underneath, but I have to do that because it bolts up from underneath before I can do the flooring, and that's still on order. A few things like that. So, but at any rate, there are a few things that I can hopefully start to frame out right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is start working on this bunk bed up here. Now this little table that I'm sitting on is a temporary bed that I made to put a mattress on for Elizabeth when we made our trip to Texas, and she was sleeping here and I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor. But I designed this, I expected this to be able to come apart, and I'm going to use that plywood up on top. So this was just a very temporary sort of thing. So let's get started building that bunk up there. Now this shelf up here that goes out over the cab, the floor of this is just one thin little sheet of metal. So I want to fur it out, and I want to put some insulation in there just to make it warmer or colder depending on the season, and to help with the sound a little bit. Normally I would just put 2x2s in there, but the bed is going to be wider than this, and it's going to overhang this far. So I'm using 2x4s flat on their side to give a little bit more strength for this out here. Now over here there's going to be a shower, and there's going to be a wall right there on the side of the shower. So this will tie into that wall on that side. That'll give it strength. But right in here, there isn't anything supporting it except just this 2x4. I don't want to screw these down because this is thin metal, and I don't know if it would hold it. If I tried to screw it up from the underside, which I could do, that would definitely hold it. But I can't, because I can't get a drill up to drill. I can't get a drill in there to drill up this way. So that's not an option. So my only option really is to glue this down. So I've got this Gorilla Max Strength glue, construction adhesive, that I'm going to be using to glue them down. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit of weight on here to hold that down, and then this actually has a 24-hour cure time, so that means that I'm not going to be driving. It's noon right now. I'm not going to be driving this until tomorrow morning. Give this time to set up. I think that'll work. Okay, so it's now several days later, and these things are dried rock solid. They're not going anywhere. So now I'm ready to continue with the framing here. Now, some of you may be asking, you see the height of this thing. Some of you may be asking, Bill, how in the world are you going to get up there? Because there's going to be a mattress on top of it as well. Well, I don't know. As soon as I figure it out, I'll let you know. No, I'm kidding. There's going to be a shower right here and a wall that'll be on the end of this. The shower comes out this far. I don't know if you can see that mark, but so I have this much space right here. I'm going to have to frame that out to the edge here and back that'll give me a wall about that wide, and I'll be able to put some steps on that wall, and then this little grab bar right here, I'll put 2 more there. I'll put 2 more of these, one on the inside of this wall and the other one back there, so that I can just grab that, step up on those steps, grab that one and pull myself up. It's not for the faint of heart, but I think at least for a few more years I'm still going to be able to do that, to get up here onto the bed. So now let's continue the framing. Now I've got this little piece of 1/4 inch plywood. I've already got it to fit. I'm going to put it underneath it here for 2 reasons. One is that I'm going to be putting insulation in here, and it needs to support the insulation. The other is that you'll be able to see this from the underside. The shower comes out to there, and then from there over you'll be able to see the underside. So I want a nice look underneath there. So I'll just be using little paneling nails. And as I hammer up from underneath, I got to do it very gently so I don't break the glue and break this off of there. But these are small nails, they'll go in easily. So now I got this piece tacked in place. That'll provide nice support for the insulation. So I'll go ahead and nail this in the rest of the way. Now up here on the bed, since this is just thin metal, I'm planning on putting down what's called kill mat. Kill mat is specifically designed to stick to metal like this to kill the sound. It's a sound deadening material. I have to put the kill mat down, and then I'm going to put some insulation in there before I finish this up. Trouble is, the kill mat is still on order and it won't be here for a couple days, so I can't finish this up until it gets there. So in the meantime, I'm going to lay this up there and just tack it down with a couple of screws so it won't move, because I want to get rid of this big bed frame thing that's been in the floor here and in my way. That was cut to the exact size, so I had to get it in there straight. Yeah, man, that'll work. Couple of screws just to tack it in place. And I'll get back to this project once the kill mat comes in. You know, right now I'm working pretty hot and heavy on this all day, every day. I got a lot of different projects going on at once. And I'll work something like this until I realize I'm lacking some materials, and then I go order it. I got so many materials coming in for so many different projects all at once. I got 3 different videos going on all at once for different projects. Sometimes it's really hard to keep track of where I am, what materials I've already ordered, what materials I still need to order. That's what happened here, is I didn't realize that I hadn't ordered the kill mat yet. So it's kind of like I've said this before, it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube. You gotta move everything around just so to get it all to work. So now I'll be able to take apart this temporary bed frame that was down here that's been constantly in my way and give me a lot more room to work. Okay, it's been several days now and the kill mat has finally come in. It looks like this. It's self-adhesive on the back. And when I first started looking into this, I just assumed that it was some kind of acoustic deadening, like a acoustic panel that you would put in a recording studio that absorbs the sound. But that's not the way this works. Apparently when you're driving down the road, the metal sets up little micro vibrations all over the place like this. And it's the micro vibrations that cause the sound, that cause the roaring sound of the road noise. So this actually does not absorb the acoustic sound. What this does when you put it down is it stops the micro vibrations so that it stops the road noise that way. And so if it was just acoustic filtering, you would have to cover every square inch, otherwise you'd have areas where the sound is still coming through. But because of the way it works, you only have to cover at least 75% of the metal to stop the vibration, and then that in turn stops the sound. On the website it says that it works particularly well on the roof, on the ceiling, to stop rain noise and especially hail noise. So that'll be good because the rain in here is deafening because it's just got a thin aluminum sheet metal on the roof. So I'm going to go ahead and install this. So I've already cleaned the metal so it bonds well. Now I have not cut this before, so let's see how this works. I'm assuming I just use a knife. Oh yeah, cuts very easily. Well, I had two of them. Didn't even know it, so I just cut through two. Oh well, I can use the rest for the others. Now you want to make sure this is well adhered to the metal below, and so I don't know if you can see it or not, but there are little bumps, little ridges here, and you use a roller like this to roll it out and make sure that it's tight to the metal. And when you do that, yeah, it flattens out those little bumps. Over here I can feel them, and here they're flat. So I'm going to go all over the whole thing with this little roller and make sure that it's adhered very well to the metal underneath. Okay, I got the kill mat all down and applied and rolled out. Now they make this in 50 mil and 80 mil, the 80 mil of course being thicker. I wanted to do 80 mil for maximum sound deadening, but they didn't have much of it. I bought the last box and they're out of stock, so I had to buy the rest in 50 mil. And then I continued to read on the website, and it said that it recommended 50 mil for the ceiling, I guess because it's a little bit more lightweight. So I used the 50 mil here. I'm going to use 50 mil on the ceiling, and then whatever 80 mil I have, I'm going to use down there on the floor where there's the greatest chance of road noise coming through. So now that I've got this in here, I got to put some insulation in there as well. Now this is the insulation that I will be using here. This looks like regular fiberglass insulation like from in-house, but it's not. This is Havelock wool. It's much better than fiberglass. For one thing, you can handle it. It's not itchy like fiberglass is. You don't need any special protective gear or gloves or anything like that. So it's much more pleasant to use. If you've ever used the fiberglass, you know how awful this is. Also, this is R7, and wool is naturally moisture and mold and mildew resistant. If it does absorb any moisture, it's still going to have insulating qualities, and it dries out quickly. So that's a good thing. Also, there are other things that I could use here, but this is much better in sound deadening qualities. So that's why I'm using that. I could also use just a regular 4x8 sheets of foam board insulation that a lot of people use, and that does a pretty good job of insulating, and it doesn't absorb moisture, but it does absolutely nothing for sound absorption, and that's what I'm going for. So I'm going to use the Havelock wool here. So I tried cutting this stuff with a utility knife, and I found it just simply didn't cut. So then now I'm using scissors. It's kind of slow going, but at least it cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of this and get it all in place. Okay, so I've got all the wool there installed. So now I can put on the plywood deck and screw it down permanently. Alright, so I'll screw up the rest of this, and then that platform is done. It'll probably be painted at some time in the future, but that's way in the future. Of course, the walls and ceiling still have to be done. I'm going to fur them out and insulate them as I am for the whole thing. So, one step closer. So what do you think, dear?
Looks pretty good. It really does. It looks comfortable. I think you're going to have enough room to move around nicely.
Yeah, that's the question. So I'm going to climb up there and see how much room I've got. Of course,
it feels good.
I don't have the steps here on the wall yet, so I have to use a ladder to get up there. Obviously, I can't sit up when I'm here, but I've got plenty of room to roll over. I just watched a video of a guy who's living in his car, and when he climbs in, the ceiling is like right here, and he's got to kind of do all of these contortions to turn over.
As you can see, the bed is pretty tight. It's hard for me to turn side to side. Like I can go to the other side like this, which is one of my other postures. Very annoying. And that is why we're going to be trimming down the bed a little bit. You should be able to do it natural, turning over.
Yeah, this is fine. I got plenty of room. I'm not claustrophobic or anything, so.
And you got the cross breeze from those windows.
Yeah, open that window, and this vent.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
And the ceiling will be more done.
Well, sure.
Cool.
So there we go.
Yeah, we had tried to figure out every way we could think of to put a double-sized bed in here. And we would end up having to climb over each other, or I'd have to crawl in from the end, which is really hard on my knees, on my arthritis. So we thought, well, we know we love each other. So my bed will be over there and his will be over here.
I'll be sleeping in the clouds,
Yeah, you'd be up in the clouds.
in the attic.
Well, and he tends to go to bed early and get up early. So we can actually put a little bit of like a blackout curtain up here, and I can feel okay still having a light on down here, and he can really get some good rest.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, so thanks for watching.
Yeah, live simple.
Live free. You be blessed.
Yeah, we'll be back with more stuff about the RV.
Oh, yeah.
This is coming together. I love it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.